my car's good. TJ, how's your car?
Living.
Hey, how's you guys' car going?
Yeah, good mate.
Oh,
What did the silly run, Drew?
oh, 890. One.
Well, we're back in the shed. We've got the head sitting here. Now what happened is obviously it damaged the head a little bit where it blew the gasket this time. It was quite a savage gasket blow, that's for sure. So we'll get that to Jack Brothers and we'll get the block out probably over the weekend and strip that. And we'll start making a start on repairing it all and getting it back on the track. Well, the top of that radiator used to be flat. Now it's about 15 mil higher than it should be. Same with the bottom, you can sort of see how that whole core's ballooned. Obviously just from the pressure that's gone from the combustion chamber into the cooling system through that blown head gasket. So poor old Dan, I'm gonna have to talk nicely to him and see if he can make us another radiator. Sorry, mate. Well, it sort of goes to show what a bit of combustion pressure can do when it gets in your cooling system anyway. Pretty wild. Oh, good to see old Bill Hinch's adapter plate still passing the test. Well, we can definitely see where the whack's been on the sump. It's pushed it down that far. I can't even get that bolt out anymore, so it used to come out pretty easily. We'll see what surprises we have found. There's something I have found. I'll show you once we get it apart a bit further. The crank has actually got a bit of an end play, so the thrust bearing has had a bit of wear on it, which is always caused by an auto with the converter trying to push hard up against the back of the crank. So we can see that crack right there. That's all happened when it's had the bash. Obviously the bottom of the pan's been trying to get pushed up against the top of the pan. You can see the wrinkle mark in here as well. So it actually held up pretty well for quite a thin little sump. Hey Fab Lab, can you make me a new radiator, mate? Righto, now that we've got it all apart, it's probably a good time to have a bit of a chat, just let you guys in on what we're going to do in the future. So after pulling the rods and the big end bearings out, bearing wear is pretty good, but we noticed that it definitely has lost tension. So we're probably pushing these steel rods. They're a big heavy steel rod. They're the boost line deal, so they are strong, but probably the RPM and the horsepower we're making now, we think we should be switching to an aluminium. So we're going to change to a BME aluminium rod for the next combo. So we'll keep the stock crank, stock block still. We're just going to get the block decked. The O-ring just protrude a bit further. I think originally we were set at 5 thou, the stainless O-ring out of the top. Then we're going to go to about 8 or 10 thou now. Now with the fuel system, we're going to change to an Alexa 1380 pump at this stage, and we're going to build a tank that's going to be up the front for methanol. So that Alexa 1380 will purely just run the methanol system. We're going to have two completely separate fuel systems. So at this stage, it looks like the pump along with 4 510 pound Fuel Tech injectors for the methanol, and then in the back, our existing 60 litre tank we have in the back, we'll switch that to unleaded. So we'll be getting away from the E85 altogether, and we'll just keep 4 of our Bosch 2000s up front for that. The injectors are definitely oversized for what we're doing, but we've got them there, so we may as well use them. It'll also give us 4 spares as well. Now I think Dan's gonna build another sump because the other one's had a bit of a hard time. So I've got it set up on the old block that we've punched a rod out of before. Go back and check that video out if you want to see a bit of carnage. Another big change we're going to be doing is we're out of revs. We're obviously revving this motor pretty hard at the last meeting to get it across the line. So we did see about 9,700 revs between us. So that's probably didn't help the cause with the head gasket and everything going as well. So we had 3 9 diff gears in the back. The guys at Australian Rod and Custom in Mudgebar on the Gold Coast here, they're going to supply us a new whole centre with 3 7 diff gears. So we'll go from the 3 9s to the 3 7s, and that should drop us at the same mile an hour to about 9.2 across the line from what I've worked out. It's definitely going to be a lot better for the motor. All of Bill Hinch's adapter plate and flex plate, they're still in good condition. There's no cracks. I can't see anything there that we have to sort of address. Obviously those marks are from the early days when we had a little bit of an issue. But all that seems to be running really good. If we go back over to the crank, you'll see the coupler on the end of that. Now he's put the brass bush in there. It's definitely wearing a lot nicer. There's nothing silly happening. So well done to Mr. Hincher. He does a great job on these things. Without him, we wouldn't be sitting here doing the times that we're doing with this thing. So You're obviously gone 7.8 now at 178 mile an hour. I never thought the car would get to that sort of mile an hour. So we're all pretty stoked, but we'll just rebuild, try again and see how we go. Something else I've been meaning to talk about, it's a bit of a follow-up on the alternator, the upgraded LS alternator we put on. We originally started just with a stock LS alternator, and what happened, the voltage was dropping to about 12.6 when both pumps come on and we're up in the revs throughout a pass. Now with this J-Lec, the Black Series alternator, they're a 215 amp alternator. There's the part number. We don't see a change in voltage the whole pass. It's stable at 14.7. So I've never seen that before. So definitely something worth considering if you are running big electrical loads. It definitely makes life easier on all your ignition system, fuel system and everything if you do have the current there ready to power it all. So another big thing we did notice, obviously these wheels, Soteria Industries got us. Massive difference in mile an hour in the last outing that we've had. So there's got to be something hiding in this rolling weight, obviously. There's a lot of rolling weight on this car behind. We've got big brakes, big heavy rotors, but just in the weight lost in the wheels themselves, we have noticed a massive increase in mile an hour. So on Drag Challenge, when we were running the old wheels, at 40 pound, we sort of seen about 163 mile an hour. And now with 47 pound, we're up around that 178 mile an hour. Obviously we have lost a bit of weight. We have upgraded that fuel system slightly too, but I think it all helps. The car's definitely starting to work, so that's a good sign. The next test for us now is get it all ready for Brisbane Jamboree, get it all tuned on this methanol, and in October, early October, I've been told we should be getting it ready to go down to Melbourne, hopefully for Drag Challenge, all going to plan. So we'll have to build a trailer, get a bit more set up for it this time, and it'd be awesome if we can get down there and run a 7-second pass throughout that event. It's a completely different event than going to Jamboree. The tracks are probably not up to the task as much, but it would be awesome to go down there and compete with some of them big boys. Now, if there's anything you guys want me to sort of jump in a bit more detail on, just yell out in the comments, let me know, and I'm more than happy to do that. If you can ask all your questions in the comments on YouTube, preferably, rather than on my Auto Perfection Facebook page, because I'd rather keep them all in one place. So that would be much appreciated too, but I'm more than happy to let you guys in on anything we're doing. There's nothing to hide, so leave a comment, let us know if you need any info on anything, and we'll do our best to try and let you know what we've done or give you our input on it anyway. Now, before I show you a couple of highlights from Jamboree, make sure you subscribe, give this video a like. Once again, thanks to all the sponsors, the other guys that make all this happen. As a team, we're getting there. We're starting to get our name out there, so it's good. People are starting to see what sort of these K-series are capable of.
I think it's still like an E85 engine. It's not even a methanol engine, so it just keeps giving them the love. But the boys just continue on that engine, on E85. It just keeps giving you those numbers. Here's TJ Graham now. That's the RX-8, thanks to 101 Motorsport and Fab Lab, and Dan Smith, also Fab Lab, Auto Perfection. Of course, that's Brenton DeRuta's business and I think YouTube channel. And Daniel Smith is the hired gun to drive this. This ran a 7. This is one of Australia's very few 7-second 4-cylinder street cars. So this did Drag Challenge this year, went 8:38 on day 5, and they've taken weight out of it. It's K24 Honda powered and a power glide. And when it's not doing wheelies, it's running 780s. So let's see what he does here for the first run. So Dan Smith driving Brendan DeRuta's Celica. K24 power. Not too many 4-cylinder 7-second street cars. Oh, nice little wheelie. 126 into 60, just lobbed them up, half track 506. Keep an eye out for a 7-second run, 782. I think that's even a more bigger PB now. 782, 178 mile an hour from a Celica street car on a 28.9 tyre.